How do we factor a cubic polynomial such as this one, x cubed minus 5x squared minus x plus 5, or any other polynomial that have higher degree than 3? We can think of this as a polynomial function. And when we are dealing with polynomial function, we look for zeros. And when we know what the zeros are, we can identify the factors. So let's look for the possible zeros of this polynomial. So we want the factors of 5 over the factors of 1. And so that's going to be 1 and 5 over 1. So the possible zeros would be 1 and 5. Okay, and then we will use synthetic division to find the zeros. So we're going to have here 1, negative 5, negative 1, 5. And let's try 1. So we'll put here 1, 1, negative 4, negative 4, negative 5, negative 5, and therefore we get a 0. So we found 1 0 already. So this time let's use 5. This is 1, 5, 1, 5, 0. Okay, we found another 0. And here's the third one. So we found the factors. First factor is x minus 1, x minus 5, and the last one is x plus 1. Okay, now I'm going to show you another way of factoring this, and it is called factoring by grouping. So let me write down here x cubed minus 5x squared minus x plus 5. The first thing that we want to do is to group these terms. So I'll take the first two and put it in one group, and then the last two in another group. So I'm going to use parentheses to group them. So I'm going to have x cubed minus 5x squared. This is one group. But now here I'm going to put minus and then another group. Now I have to be careful with what I will put inside the parentheses because I have here a minus outside the parentheses. So I'm going to put x inside, but instead of plus 5, it will turn to minus 5. So that when I multiply, see, why did this happen? Okay, we know that there's a 1 hiding here in the front and here. And when we multiply 1x cubed, 1 times x cubed is x cubed. 1 times negative 5x squared is negative 5x squared. And over here, negative 1 times x is negative x. And negative 1 times negative 5 is positive 5. So we know that the second row here is equivalent to the top row. So now we are going to look at each of these groups and find out if they have a common factor. Now, in these two, here they have a common factor of x squared. So I will factor out x squared, and inside the parentheses we'll have x minus 5. And then in the next group, in our second group here, they don't have anything in common, so I can't bring out anything. So I'll just bring this down. 1 times x minus 5. So I have here two expressions. This part is in factored form, and this is also in factored form. And we notice that they have a common factor, which is x minus 5. So if they have a common factor, we can factor that out. So I'm going to factor out x minus 5. Okay. And Then inside this parentheses, I'm going to put x squared minus 1. So now we have two factors. Okay. But we notice that x squared minus 1 is a difference of two squares. Therefore, we can still factor this. So we'll have here x minus 5 times, we know the factors of this difference of two squares will be x plus 1 and x minus 1. So here we have also three factors, and that's the same as this one.